The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LJA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LJA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon to you. If I can make it on time, past some moonlit state line, or roll a diesel right on through.
From deep in the desert of Nevada, broadcasting to the world, it's the Glenn Larry Show. Broadcasting to the world from deep in the desert of Nevada, it's the Glenn Larry Show. Broadcasting all over the world.
One more time.
Larry Glenn Anderson.
Well, you're the best. I'll tell you, Ross. Tell you for sure. Hey, welcome, everybody. Tonight's going to be a fun show. We're going to be talking about time travel. That's one of my favorites, as you know. I've always loved it. And, well, shoot. I mean, you know I do like that stuff. And you do, too. I hear a lot of people. By the way, I do bid you all welcome. Everybody, wherever what time zone you might be in, or where you might be hearing our broadcast, to all the affiliates out there, all the small broadcasters out there, the small stations, and to the night drivers. I do thank you guys for listening. I meet you all the time at the truck stops. I say hello to you guys. In fact, we put a little article in your little magazine there, your trucker magazine. Pretty cool. And to 73s, to all the people out there in the ham radio, and of course the sidebanders. I want to say hello to KPFF up in Pahrump, Nevada, and I'd like to say hello to the Siskiyou, Alaska. Great guy, KBHR 57 AM up there. Yes, nice little station that they have. You know, little small stations really love carrying different type of shows. Some that's way off the cuff, some that's kind of standard stuff. But yeah, they're carrying my show, which is pretty nice. We have several different stations that are doing that. We do thank them out there. The folks out there listening, by the way, across the pond, I want to say hello to Neil and Barbara. They're in London, England. Yeah, they get our broadcast. And Norm over there in Siskiyou, Alaska. Yeah, loves that little station that he listens to all the time. And yeah, we reach out to a lot of people. Montana right now is hitting pretty strong. Canada's always been big on that chart. I love you guys up in Canada. I haven't been up there for quite a while, but I shall get up there and see you. Yes, a big shout out to Creekside Diner over there in Kennett Square in Pennsylvania. Karen, that's a great place up there. I come and see her all the time when I visit Pennsylvania. I see the chief. Yes, I do. And Randy. I see my buddy Randy out there. He was supposed to make it out here, but we have a lot of things going on in our lives, and I get that. Hope you all are staying well. I understand in Florida, we've got some rain coming. And my friends Dee and Ken down there, they get the rain. They've had some bad floods and lost a lot of stuff back in the day. So, well, bless their hearts. Hope they're going to be safe out there. And so, and Dee and Ken, you guys be really careful. And by the way, I want to show you guys something that they sent me. I'm going to put up on the website there. You see that? Those are those little figures I told you about. Yeah, the little wizards and stuff. A whole collection. I had to make a whole new shelf. So there they are on its new shelf on the side of the station by the old radios. Yeah, kind of cool, huh? Oh, nice folks. Anyway, so back to the first responders that Karen always takes care of, and people that come in the restaurant, real good food. I love her. Stop by and say hello to her, please. It's Kent Square, and it's in Pennsylvania. And my gosh, you can't beat that right out of Annabelle. By the way, excuse me. Of course, the UFO networks out there are listening. And I get a hold of a lot of folks that come during the week saying, hey, I loved your broadcast. Do you want to be on our station? Well, another guy called me, and I had called him about, I wanted to be on the station, his network. He says, well, you're not big yet. Oh, okay. Well, I get it. Okay. That's cool. We'll just keep on doing what we do. It's just fine with me, you know. And a good shout out goes out to Avondale Fire Department over there at Chief Hall, and to all the crew at the station there. Avondale, you guys are doing a great job. Neat fire company. I'll be back over to say hello to you. Trust me. Station 23 into Clark County here in beautiful Clark County in Nevada. Station 78, 87, 77. We say hello to you also. To everybody in Good Springs, Nevada. Oh, I got to show you guys again what I've done. I've got some yard art. You've heard of that. Yard art, right? Well, when I bought this place, they had yard art, but it was Western, old cans and all sorts of stuff, and coffee, big coffee pots and stuff, metal, and all sorts of weird stuff, and wagon wheel, which is cool. And I had a tree there and a bunch of other things, but it just got deteriorated, and God, they're just little critters are getting inside and out of that place. So what I did, I tore it out and made it real nice. Of course, now the station's sitting on it where it used to be. Now, here I have my yard art that I have. Now, since we're in radio, now you'll bear with me here. I'm sure you'll get this. Well, that's one of them right there. Here we go. And that's a transmitter. That's an FM transmitter. Yeah, imagine that. 6,000 watts worth right there. It came out of a huge place called Mount Potosi, and that's where all the radio transmitters for the state of Nevada almost that are. And here's another shot of it right here. And it's up to the side. You can see it right there. You can see it. And by the radio station, which I'm broadcasting out of right now, our little K-Ghost radio. And by the way, we're on AM/FM out there. They're hearing us in the local town. And, of course, we're on the internet. If you can get us on kghost.com, the audio side, the video side. And, pretty cool stuff. But shut up there. That's, And it's going to stay there. It's going to be part of the station and the look of the whole bit. People wonder, what is a transmitter? Well, there is one right there. And it's about 1,000 pounds. Denny Todd, my buddy, God bless his soul. He's a radio man. He's a ham operator. He's an advanced, he's an extra. He's way up there, just like my friend Dennis Jones, K6RCL out of Goleta. And they're ham operators. I'm a ham operator. I really enjoy what I do. I love 11 meters too. And all my sidebenders out there. And of course, I'm radio 4499. That's my numbers. And I'd say 73s to you. And God, you guys are great. Stay on the air. It's always fun. Ham radio is fun. Have you thought about getting into it? Look it up. I tell you how to get hold of the local ham operators and test people, give tests and stuff. They'll take care of you. They'll tell you how to study. And it really is a lot of fun. And I've learned so much about that. So we'll take this picture down, and we're back with you here. So, yeah, we've got some cool pictures tonight that I got. I've got a picture of Stephen Gibbs, and a picture of the time machine that he made. Now, I had Stephen on years ago, and quite an interesting person, and very smart, very intelligent. He sometimes in the conversation wouldn't stick with you. I'd have to bring him back. You've heard some of the broadcasts I've had with him back in the day. He died a couple years back, and just a very interesting person to have on the air. Now, he was on Art Bell, Coast to Coast, and he was on several radio stations and TV stations. But he was in Science Magazine and a couple of big write-ups about him. And the whole thing is, why would they waste their time with this guy? Well, he made a time machine, and he sold them. Yeah, he sold them and sold a lot of them. And along with that came a complete book, how to use your HDR set right here. Yeah, I got a better book than I have. My friend Avery, which is a researcher, and he does a lot of things, but knew him very well. And a lot of folks that I met later on, knew him very well, actually came and visited the station and had a long talks with these people. And some of the stories that I heard, I made kind of a couple of little notes here, that several people bought in this time machine. And, well, they disappeared. I mean, they used it and they've never heard of again. Now, that's odd. It's odd to me for that to happen to anybody. But I guess it worked. Now, I have one, and I'll show you what it looks like. I'll bring it up here for you. Okay, time machine, where did you go? I had you right here. Is this it? Oh, I think this is it right here. Yeah. There it is there. Now, that T-bar you're seeing there is called the electromagnet. Yeah. And that plugs in the back of that box. Now, I have not, it has to do with your, I guess your gut or whatever, but you got to hold it somewhere. It's got these quartz crystals. It's got these bar magnets. It's got the main units. It's got the time and head thing that goes around your head. And yeah, it's pretty interesting, but the quartz crystal is pretty cool too. I mean, it's really nice crystal. It goes into the wishing well, into the well. It has a hole in this device, apparently. It takes the energy. Well, I know that the human soul and mind, our frequency of our body is like 7 to 8 hertz. Anyway, we have electricity in us. I don't know if you folks know that, but we have that. And the body, whole soul and the body and mind operates on all that. So, I mean, so something's happening here. These several folks have disappeared. I never found them. Now, apparently you can go, as I understand, back in time and do it mentally or physically. I have one. No, I gotta, yeah, I see the message. No, I have not tried it myself. I have not gotten the nerve to even try that. No. Although I've thought about it, but I decided, no, I don't think I'm going to do that because it's just not for me. You plug it in the wall. Got some electricity going. You got a lot of stuff happening here. I mean, lots of stuff. But it is fascinating. It's got directions, warning. This is not a toy. Adult use only. Dangerous levels of EMP and ELF. I'll admit from this device. Wow. Yeah. So there's the warning there. And there's some fine print warning also. But it has to do with not only your soul and mind, but your energy. It wavers your energy. There's another book out about this time machine from another person. He has one apparently that he built. And it's very similar to what Steve has made. And yeah, it's quite fascinating. Do you want to travel in time? What would you do? What would you change in time? Where would you go? I've had several people, seriously, that said, I've seen Lincoln's birthday. I've seen him become president. I tried to stop the assassination of Lincoln. I'm asking myself, I've heard from several people, but why would you want to do that? I would stop the Kennedy assassination. Not would I, or could I? Then what happens? It changes times. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we went to the Mandela effect of a lot of things. And, people say Jiffy peanut butter or Jif peanut butter. Okay, I remember it's Jiffy as a kid, but it's Jif, I guess, And then the fact that Mandela, he died in prison, or he's alive in the 80s, and his death, details about the death are pretty way off, apparently. The Looney Tunes, how it's spelled Looney, and then Tunes Toons, Toons, instead of Tunes. Oh, there's two. Which was it? Which do you remember? What do you remember? Oh, it's always spelled this way. No, it's spelled this way. Well, it's interesting. And then you have the bears. And that's different. That's changed. The little monkey, the tail. Or the monkey, the tail, the banana. Well, it doesn't George the monkey, his tail and stuff. And of course, Sex in the City. Remember that what that book looked like? That's changed. Of course, they do change books and covers. There's Oscar Mayer. That's changed. A different way of spelling it. Mayer, Meyer. Skechers. Interesting. Sketchers. Skechers. How do you remember it? When you bought your first Skechers. Fruit Loops. That's interesting. Fruit as an Fruit. Loops. Or Froot. Loops. And it goes on and on. King Henry holding chicken. The one that fascinates me is the one where Monopoly Man and his monocle. Remember that monocle he used to wear? See him dashing. Well, it shows him without that, holding his hat, without that on the other eye, with his bag of money. I remember the monocle. I do. And what do you remember? And Kit Kat, it goes all the spelling's different. Fruit of the Loom's different. Fruit of the Loom. Fruit of the Loom. Well, it's just the picture's different because it doesn't have the basket that all the fruit's in. It just has the fruit by itself. It changed. Cheez-Its. That's another one. CHEEZ-ITZ instead of CHEEZ-IT. Oreos, the same thing. The Mona Lisa, her smile got bigger. Yeah, well, that's Photoshop. I don't know. And it goes on and on. Fred Flintstone, the Flintstone, how that was spelled. It's changed. What do you have for me? Well, that's how I look at this. Maybe this is time changing. Maybe this is someone that had changed things in time, different dimension, and we got caught in it, and someone's changed it during this time travel or whatever they did, and we all are affected by it. What do you think? What do you really think? Now, I asked you the question about time travel. Where will you go? Now, we've had several shows on it, and we had some really cool shows back in the day. And I'm throwing it back out you again because I went through the stuff that I found of Steve's and listened to a lot of broadcasts that we had with Art Bell and with my two shows with him. He never seemed to have a good cell phone or a phone, and that was always a problem with Steve. But the last interview that I had with him was pretty good. And we had a lot to say. He had a lot to say also. I mean, everybody that called in talked to him a little bit. And a lot of his friends called in also, thank God, because, the one guy kind of helped him along, the line. And this guy was so intelligent. He'd be here and there, but he'd always come back to you once you brought him back and really opened up. And very fascinating. And I'm sure you could hear them on some of the old Art Bell broadcasts with Stephen Gibbs. And I guess he died on his farm, as I understand. Maybe we'll get more information on that. Maybe Avery will call me on that and give us more information. But yeah, there you go. Stephen Gibbs. But what would you do? Would you change time? Would you change what you're doing? Well, you think about that. We're going to go to commercial and we'll be back after this.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
And let me talk about a place that I go down to once in a while. In fact, I'm going to have lunch there tomorrow. The Pioneer Saloon. I love that place. You'll see me inside there waving at you to come through the door with my buddies. And we have coffee in the morning. We shoot whatever we're going to talk about. Yeah, here in Good Springs, Nevada. They had a lot of bike runs here just recently. And a lot of stars and celebrities showed up, of course. But let me tell you, it's a fun place to come and visit. If you want to tour and look around in Good Springs, there's a place called the Pioneer, and it's very haunted, by the way. I've seen ghosts there, and ghosts have been seen there, and there are spirits in the drinks. We know that. They have karaoke, of course, on, I believe, Friday nights, and music, and Saturdays and Sundays. I always get a chance to try to meet Old Man Liver, and he has Old Man Liver whiskey. And that's we've had some of those. That's pretty good stuff, I'll tell you for sure. But anyway, besides all that people are fun and great people. I'm telling you, I have a good time when I come down there. So you get a chance, you see me, say hello, and just tell me you stop by. You can always come up the street and go by the station and see our little new transmitter outside. Isn't that fun? Gosh. If you have any questions about the Pioneer Saloon, give them a 702-674-6809, and you can get a hold of them and ask for Steve. Maybe he's the owner. Cool guy, I'll tell you for sure. He's my neighbor, and he's got chickens, and they got eggs. Well, I score once in a while. What the heck? No, good man. Good family, by the way, too. And you get a chance to drive through beautiful town, Good Springs. It's a neat little town. We have a schoolhouse over there. It's a one-room schoolhouse back in the old days type of thing. This is a very old town. And in fact, the Pioneer's been around since 1913. But the history about this place, they have a little museum now that you can go to. The old post office, the kind of a red building. And just take your time, go through, enjoy the little town, Good Springs. Be respectful. We are a community. And what really gripes me is these guys, off-riders, these muggies and stuff, going through town fast and just not caring. Well, we don't do that to your town. Do not do it to ours. And I'm just a little from me, because that's my pet peeve, man. Go around the town. This is a town to enjoy. Stop in, stop by, whatever. I mean, have some respect. Am I right or wrong? Yeah, I want them to know it. What the heck? So I said it. Yeah. Anyway, but have some fun. You come by and check it out. Yeah, I had a lot of fun building that shelf for those little figurines that Ken and Dee gave me. I'm gonna put them up again. There they are. And yeah, I've seen them in the past, but I've never bought one. But they're heavy. It must have cost them a lot of money to get them out here. And I want to thank him very much for that. And I also want to thank Denny Todd for his help on radio with me. He's a great guy, man. Yeah, kudos out to him. We'll be back right after this. Again, stand by.
There's no typical meth user. I was from an upper middle class family. Meth is terribly addictive. My first time using it, I was hooked. There was no turning back. I lost my job and I was homeless. I never thought I'd see my family again. I have a great fear of meth because it took so much of me. I mean, it took everything. Meth took over my soul.
Visit our website at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
And I do love my thunder and lightning, as you all know. Yeah. And there's been other shows out there that do the same, but who cares? That's just the way I am. Anyway, I'm having fun with you. Yeah, now I have met a time traveler, and this gentleman came to the station. And he was in an older car, a 67, by the way, car, a LTD Ford, and it looked like it was new. And he had gotten out, and I was pulling some weeds. And he asked me if I was who I was, and I said yes. And he said, I'm a time traveler, right off the bat. Didn't even hi, I'm George, whatever. I said, well, Mr. Time Travel, what is your name? And his name was George, by the way. And he said he was from Vermont. And I said, you're a long ways from home. Did you drive? He says, yeah, I just drove. And I says, well, how did you get here? I just came down the road. And he would not give me directions where he came from. Now, that's kind of odd to me. Yeah. So does he pop in over there and drive up here as if everything's hunky-dory, as if he really is a time traveler or someone just driving on the street? Well, anyway, he was a little odd. And I asked him, Mr. Time Traveler, how can I help you? He says, everything that you've read on Stephen Gibbs is true. I said, okay. He says, I use his machine and another device that I have gotten through the years working for the government. Interesting. You heard the show we had about Martin, that the university that he went to, apparently, and I worked for below the university, and Michigan, by the way. And they were working on a time device, a time traveling device. And it was quite a show. And how he had disappeared and come back and what have you. And I'm going to be honest with you, I cannot find those recordings. Yeah. Because I wanted to play those for you again. And I do not have them in archives. Now, nothing's been wrong with the hard drive. Everything's there, but certain things are missing. As if somebody had gone into that computer and took those shows out. Now, I did not do that. Something's missing. And they're not online, so they could not have done that online and took them off, somehow, hacked into the computer. These had to be taken off physically. And it bothers me quite much. So trust me. And so I have an IT guy coming. We're going to go through a lot of computers, make sure that's not my mistake. I put it over here. No. It's on this main drive, this main server I use. I've got many of them, trust me. And right here, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 computers right here. And 5 of them are running. And we have backup, of course. But yeah. So I could not find these broadcasts, and it bothered me a lot. So we're desperately trying to look for some archive stuff. I'm hoping that it is in the archive somewhere, and we're going to go through that through the different companies that I've had that carried the show. Hopefully they're there, and we can retrieve them somehow. Is radio not interesting? Anyway, George wanted to know where a good place to eat. So I told him where to go down to. Of course, the Pioneer. It's the only place in town. And he kindly thanked me. He says, I'll be in touch. And I will stop and see you at a later date. Okay. Yeah. So I'm anxiously waiting to see him again. He has more information, as he says. And I said, can you give me anything to hold on to? And he told me that Trump would not be elected. Well, this time I'm watching everything. It looks really good, really good. And Biden becomes president. Now, out of all this and everything going on, after this gentleman had told me this, and seeing the way it went down, and he says it will change right in front of you. Now, was this a change of time travel? Are we going to look back at this and say, hey, whatever? Well, these new elections are coming. We'll see what happens. Now, I'm going to open the lines up. Now, you know the rules. No cussing. Keep it clean. And one caller per call. One person, because the lines are, we got 2 here. We got the Trump line 2. So we're going to give that number out. And I want you to take your time, have some fun, and tell me what you would do if you were a time traveler. Are you a time traveler? Will you tell me your secrets? Or can you tell me where you're going or what you've changed? tell me where you've been. I would like to hear that. Can you go into the future, or do you just do the past? What have you changed? What are you going to change? What is your motive? Time travel. Amazing. Imagine that. Time travel.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
And we're going to give that Trump 9.
For ump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275.
Oh, yes. And the reminder out there, do not forget about Ray's Honey. I gave some honey away today, which I do to you folks. If you guys give me your email address and call me, we'll get a hold of you. So it's GlennLarry51 at gmail.com. And that's what you want to do. We do have a caller. Let's see what we have. Hello, caller. And where are you from? And what is your name, please?
I'm Barry from Boston, Massachusetts.
Your name is Barry from Boston, Massachusetts. And, sir, are you a time traveler?
Once.
You were. Okay. And why are you not now?
I threw my machine away.
You threw your HTR away?
Yep.
Why did you do that? If you're a time traveler, why would you do that?
Became a huge pain in the butt.
Okay. Is it because of the traveling of time, or what? Or what? Why would it be such a pain in the rear?
You're always gonna watch it like.
You what?
You gotta watch it and make sure nobody steals it or does anything like that.
Did you have problems with
I had
security?
To get rid of it.
Was someone stealing your time machine?
Yeah.
They were.
It worked though. Yeah.
Now, did you
And
have?
it does not hurt. By the way.
It does not hurt.
Nope.
Did you have the Steve Gibbs model, or did you have the A or B model, as I've seen them on the internet?
Hold on.
You had what now, sir?
Yeah, I'm having problems with the volume.
All right, I can hear you very clearly, and
Yeah.
I'm
Now
I'm asking you: did you have the newer model HDR, or did you have the older model HDR
I
of Gibbs?
think I had a 2012 model.
2012. Okay.
Yep.
And what is the difference between those models? Is it because of the quartz crystals, or what is it?
One deciphers the other, and when you have one machine, it becomes you, and you become it.
One
Okay.
becomes you, and it becomes okay. Okay, so you're saying it combines you with one of the unit to be one,
And then you get another one that has to get used to you.
Okay.
And you get what I'm saying.
All right, I'm kind of following you there. So you're saying the unit has to know you. You have to be bonded with the unit to make it work.
You gotta know the whole ordeal, up and down.
Okay. Well, can you explain it to me a little bit more? How that works?
All right. So this is a 5-step rule that I follow. Yeah.
You have a strict rule that you follow. Okay.
Five rules.
5 rules.
All right. Number 1, I have a 5-step rule. Number 1, turn it on. Plug it in and turn it on. Number 2, get it ready. Put the crystal in. Number 3, you get the headset ready. You plug that in. You turn on the time dial, you tune it to wherever you want to go. And number 4, you meditate. And number 5, you're gone.
Now, when do you put the crystal in the well?
You throw it upside down in the well.
Oh, yeah, upside down. Okay, the pointed end of the crystal is the top end. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Now, when do you have it plugged into the wall all the time, or do you do that when you're ready to go?
No. You meditate.
Oh, you meditate first.
Yeah. You meditate for like 3 to 5 minutes. Then you start to see things fuzzy.
Oh,
then
okay.
you know you're gone.
Okay, so when you're meditating, what are you seeing perfect? Are you seeing
You're just seeing stuff go bye-bye.
Oh, as in darkness, or
Yeah, and then you're somewhere else where you don't want to be. That I wouldn't recommend.
so you help me out here. So you don't want to be in darkness, or are you in hell?
I'm not told to it, but I'm not a big fan of like advertising it. But
Well, okay. We don't want to advertise hell, although we all know it exists. I mean, I hope so. I'm not going to go to hell. I want to go to heaven.
Yeah.
Now, can you do this and go to heaven?
Yeah, probably get to the first level.
The first one. I'm sorry.
The first level.
The first level. Okay. So now you're at this first level. How do you get to the second level?
You get to a pool level.
A pool level.
Yep. There's a train station. There's a pool level and a cleansing. And then you go up to level 3, which is the gate.
All right. Now, is there a certain dial that you push to get to these levels?
No, you just gotta have the luck.
You have to have the luck.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to think about it.
Now, when you do travel in time, do you choose where you're going to go? Okay, I want to go to Washington D.C. and watch the address of the President Lincoln, or who may it be.
I did the Lincoln trip too, and
You what?
I did the Abraham Lincoln trip as well, as you know.
Okay.
Most
You
of
went.
me.
Did you see him? What did he do?
I tried to stop it.
I'm not hearing that right.
I tried to stop it.
You tried to stop it. What did you try to stop?
Lincoln from being shot, but it didn't work.
So you were at Booth Theater.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I have my own documentary and all that stuff. So,
how may one watch that?
if you go on YouTube, you should see Tempest Edith Rerun. That's the name of the documentary.
Okay, so reruns. I got the last rerun. What was the first name called? What was it called? The first? Temper.
Tempest Edith Rerun.
All right. We'll try with that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that'll get you there.
And what did you?
Your old friend Avery's on there. So
Mr. Avery, we know him quite well. Let me ask you this. What did you try to do?
I was witnessing the whole event. I tried stopping Lincoln from getting shot, but
what did you specifically do to stop that happening?
I went up in the theater in the booth area, and I seen a gun fired at him, and I was already too late.
You started to leap?
I was already late.
You were already late. It already happened, and he jumps. Oh.
So that's how it goes. And then by the time anyone saw what was going on, Booth was already down in the theater running away.
Interesting. You got a good look at him.
Yeah. But the thing is, it wasn't Booth that did it.
Well, you said that you saw him.
I saw him, and then I saw someone else right next to him.
Who may that be?
Yep, I saw someone else. It was his brother.
His brother. Interesting.
His brother Brutus.
Brutus. Well, okay. And where was Brutus at the time when this happened? Was he behind the curtains, or?
He was right in front of John Wilson, and he told him to start running. And I don't know where Brutus went.
Interesting. I would like to have another caller call in and tell me their story. Sir, I want to thank you for calling. And so you threw your time device away, and so are you no longer going to travel in time? You just
not for a while, no.
So can you retrieve that time device, that machine?
Virtually not home. I haven't been home in 4 to 5 years.
Okay. So are you in a different time now that you're not supposed to be in? Or
yeah. Unfortunately, yes. I'm in a negative.
So you're 2003. Where are you supposed to be, sir?
2018.
2018. Huh. All right. I'm going to ask you a question. Maybe you can give me an answer. Who is the new president of the United States coming up?
It won't be Trump.
Do you know who he is?
That guy is right.
Can you tell me who it may be?
I have no idea. I'm out of the loop.
You're out of the loop. 2020. Okay. Interesting. Well, again, I want to thank you and keep listening. We do thank you for listening to the show.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, my friend. Be well.
Nice to talk to you.
Happy time traveling.
Yep.
Interesting, huh? Let me go to a fast commercial here, and we'll take another call. Get some more callers. This is pretty interesting.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
He is back. Now, on UFO Talk Radio, Glenn Larry.
I am back, everybody. I must say that was a very interesting caller that we had. Yes. And, well, he was there when Lincoln got hit, I guess. We'll find out. We do have another caller. Let's find out what they. Yes, caller. Where you're from? What's your name? And go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is Avery down in Florida.
Okay, Avery. We had a gentleman that was just on. Apparently knew you.
That was Barry.
Okay.
Barry's tried to stop the Lincoln assassination so many times that it's crazy.
Really?
Okay, so you can't, the whole myth about creating a paradox, if you go back and, you're not.
We're not.
Still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. You just went away, but you're right back. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I think it's Barry trying to call me. Yeah, that's what it is. Barry's trying to call me on the.
Quit calling Barry. We're trying to have a conversation.
Yeah, but so the myth about the paradox. I mean, you're going to need some sophisticated equipment to get back on the same timeline. But basically, you go back in time, you change something, you just create a new timeline.
That's interesting. And let me ask you this: do you think the Mandela effect has anything to do with the time travelers?
Yeah. It we're quickly running out of timelines. Because timelines come to a natural end. And as we're moving through, getting closer to the big event, we're running out of timelines. And so you would naturally jump a timeline once, twice a year.
Interesting.
Usually around the solstices or something along those lines. But now it's happening monthly. It's crazy.
So these folks with time machines, they're just having a habit of it, huh?
Well, the HDR is more than a time machine. It's a brain hack tool. You can but one of the things it does, it helps you realize when you naturally jump a timeline. Everybody jumps timelines all the time. You jump a timeline, everybody jumps timelines. It just, your soul moves to a physical counterpart of yourself on a different timeline.
So you're saying I have jumped a timeline. How would I know that I have done that?
Well, it's simple things like, you lose your car keys. I always used to joke that, when everybody loses their car keys on the same day, we know we just had a major event.
All right. Yeah. I keep my keys around. Well, actually, I keep my.
Well, you walk outside and you go, wow, I don't remember that tree being there. Or
yeah, that's happened to me.
I could have swore there was this gas station on the corner and it's not there anymore. It's the same thing with the Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's happened to me.
It's the way of and the HDR just kind of opens your eye up to kind of see that type of stuff.
I had some shows that I was just talking about earlier. Is that these really cool shows that we had in the past? I can't even find them in the archives. They're out of the computer. They're just missing out of the computer.
Yeah, which was that, the Gibbs show or
the Gibbs show and the time travelers, the family that actually they're gone. And I'm looking desperate. I was all morning, all afternoon. I went through computer, and I know that I had them in that one computer. And it's never been aligned, my friend. Never. And I'm really wondering. I'm going to keep searching, though. I had other broadcasting that I was on, maybe in other archives. I'll look for them. And I've heard this has happened to art in the past. Crazy.
Yeah.
Really wondering.
It could have happened on another timeline. Who knows? Welcome to the world of the HDR. Strange stuff happens.
I think just having it in the house can make things happen, to tell you the truth. And I do have it on a shelf in the office. And it's quite the thing, I'll tell you. I was explaining to everybody out there. Now, this crystal that goes into the well has to be pointing straight up, apparently.
Well, it's double pointed.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So it's not really a right way or a wrong way,
Okay, now what's with the magnets, the bar magnets?
The electromagnet?
Yeah.
Oh, good God. That thing, you put that over your stomach chakra, basically your solar plexus.
Oh, that's the big thing. That's
coil goes around your forehead.
Yeah, that's the T, right? The electromagnet. Yeah. But
the big T electromagnet. So what you're doing is the HDR is stimulating is basically synchronizing both hemispheres of your left and right brain, stimulating your pineal gland, and also synchronizing with your second brain, your gut, through the electromagnet.
Huh. Now, I do have a book that tells me how to use it. And it's very good. Well done, by the way. I had a scientist friend of mine look at this, and he says it's quite amazing. Interesting. He says it's just It's all there, but he says, I don't know if it works. I said, I don't either. I haven't tried it on, but I haven't got the guts, I guess, to do it. I don't know, but that's interesting. I mean, yeah. I've been doing some studies on Gibbs lately, and quite an interesting man. Now, you knew him quite well, and you had to keep him online because he was so smart, so intelligent. He would talk about, he just went on and on and on, and went out of your mental capacity where you're at in life, where he's way up there, and he forgets where you're at, and he's moving right along. You notice that with him?
Yeah, Patricia Riss, who wrote a couple of books about him, called him the Rain Man of science of time travel.
Yeah, I can really believe that.
I mean, it was kind of that, that those autism type geniuses.
Yeah, savant type of thing.
Yeah, he'd get into numerology and start talking, esoterical type, geometry, sacred geometry, and just, leave me in the dirt.
Yeah, leave you behind. Yeah.
And
but I gotta find those. I have to find those shows. It really bothers me because they were good shows, and as you remember, and but I want to bring those back because I do own them, and I want to hit some of the stuff back. I will find them, folks. I really will, if they're out there. But I think there's something going on. I know there's a lot to this. I'm thinking back. Where did 30 years go? And I have spoken to my ex-wife, and we have spoken about different things. And I don't remember it happening in that way. Well, is that the way it goes or not, folks? Well, yeah. But I go, no. I know it didn't happen this way. And I know I have people that I remember that knew that. And it goes, no. But we all have certain ideas how things were or they weren't, of course. But, yeah, it's interesting.
When you start getting to the Mandela effect, then trying to make sense of it, once you kind of learn about quantum physics and string theory, then you start, the whole multiverse and jumping basically universes, jumping timelines, start making more and more sense.
Yeah.
And that's where you run into these Mandela effects.
Yeah, very interesting. I've been looking at a lot of them on air, like the Flintstones. They spell it different. And, FLIENTONES instead of FLINTSTONES. It's just interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It's never was that way, and they say it was that way, and I remember it being the other way, and I really do. I wish I could find an old cereal box that would show that, and there's a couple of them here that really dazzles me. I'll tell you for sure. The Jiffy thing, it was always called Jif. Well, I remember it called Jiffy, but I don't know. Maybe it was called Jif, and we just called it Jiffy. It's.
I'm coming across, TV shows that I've never seen before. That old reruns of stuff.
Me too.
That were supposedly back in the when I was growing up, and I'm like, I don't remember any of these. So it's yeah.
That's interesting too.
Because Steve was talking about that one time. He was like, watching movies that you've seen 100 times, and all of a sudden the actors change.
Yes. The Bogart played against Sam. Did he say that, or did he say something else?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I got Space Cat coming over tomorrow.
Oh, well, great. I really enjoyed her on the show, by the way. And I mean, you'd see her tell her thank you. And I know that he was on a different other person's show, and which I lined her up with.
Oh, yeah, and that was a good interview.
I thought it was too. I did too. When I got her, she was kind of doing different things, and I couldn't keep her on track, but we tried. But she had it more together, I guess, with his show, which is fine. It's great.
Well, and I think she learned a lot from doing the interview with you.
Yes. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
That helped her out a lot.
Good. Well, you never know. We got another caller, and stay on the line here, Avery. See if we can get you talking. Okay, caller, go ahead. Where are you from, and what is your name, please?
My name is Roberta Gay. I'm from Palmdale, California.
Roberta Gay. All right. Just the first name's good enough for us, Bob. Thank you so much. I have Avery on the line also. Roberta, do you mind?
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay, Roberta, what are you a time traveler?
Yes.
Oh, great. Do you have to use? I'm sorry. Do you use a device or anything like that?
No.
You do not. All right. Well, where have you been, and who do you know, and what have you done?
Who do I know there? I don't know. What happens is I just appear in these spots. The one that I think you would be most interested in is the Intergalactic Space Station.
Oh, here we go. We just had it. Yeah.
It wasn't on a planet or anything. There was just this huge platform in air. That's the only way I can explain it. It had a couple of planes that I can't describe because I haven't seen anything like that here. It was a huge field. I was only allowed to go to certain areas, and then they stopped me from going too close to the planes. So I said, "Where am I?" And they said, "The Intergalactic Space Station." And they said, "Very few people get to come here. What are you doing here?"
Wow.
I said, "I don't know. I just showed up."
All right. Avery, we had a lady on. We're just talking about her, the Galactic Lady Federation. Do you think this is a part of it, what this lady's talking about? Avery, do you think this is part of the Galactic Federation part that she's...
Well, you would kind of have to be, right?
I would think so. So you arrive...
I mean, if you got an intergalactic spaceport, I mean, pretty much either you're with the Federation or you're not. And if you're not with the Federation, then, they might be looking for you. I don't know. So what was your name again?
My name is Roberta, and I am connected several times with Astar.
Okay. Okay.
I've heard that, yeah.
So, Roberta, you got this, have you always had this natural ability?
No, it showed up. Well, I first started being clairaudient in 1987, and it was just teachers through telepathy. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, I started seeing visions. And everybody said, well, everybody thinks that visions are the third eye, but they're really not. There's some that are third eye, but there's so many different ways to see these visions. Like when I came in to the planet itself was like, a reader told me was over 17,000 years ago. I came speeding, just hurtling through space. There was nothing there but blackness. It was like a velvet blackness. I could see and I could hear, but I didn't have eyes and I didn't have ears. I didn't have any physical body. So I kind of assumed it was just the consciousness. And I flew past what I thought looked like different planets and different stars.
So you're on the ship. You're on a ship then, right?
No, I wasn't on a ship. It was right straight through the air.
Interesting. Right straight
So I
there.
had that. And I think I kind of landed in one of the fifth dimension on Earth. And then worked down into the physical because I had different lessons to experience. And I have been on a ship twice. The first time I was with a couple of girls, and all of a sudden I saw this little red, I called it my little red scooter. It's a scooter. It was like a small spaceship. And I can tell you that a part of me is a healer that goes on missions that uses this little red scooter. And my friends are saying, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Because I saw it. I know it's mine. It's a part of me that's there." And one of the teachers through telepathy said, "Did you say that was your little red scooter?" And I said, "Yes, I know it is." And he said, "How do you know it is?" I said, because I know. He said, nobody told you? I said, no, but I know that's mine. I said, it's not me physically, but a part of me is in that scooter. And then he said, okay, as it is.
Interesting.
So then another time, I was in this huge UFO. It was a huge room, and this other girl walked in, and she was looking to buy boots. And I always pinch myself to make sure that I'm not in a dream or I'm not asleep, and I was wide awake. So I told her, I said, well, you go over here to such and such a store. And then a guard came up to me and said, what are you doing here now? I said, sorry, oops, and I flipped myself out.
All right. On that note, we're top of the hour. So, Roberta, don't leave, and please stay on the air there, Avery. We're going to be right, folks. To recap, we're talking about time travel, and we've had a couple on the line. So you folks want to stand by, all right? We'll be back. We'll be back. So hang in there, all right?
Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, The Glenn Larry Show.
And we are back, everybody. Thank you for hanging in there with us a little over the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. We're going a little longer tonight. I do have Roberta on the line and Avery to recap or talk about time travel. And it's happened. And we haven't got much more time to be on the air because we are running over. But Roberta, you were finishing that you were on your after your little red, whatever it was.
My little red scooter?
Your red scooter, yeah. And you're going into another story. Proceed. Go ahead. You're on.
Which story? Because I've been on a couple of them. I told you the one. I told you the one about the girl that wanted to buy something.
Oh no, I haven't heard that
giving
one.
her directions,
Okay.
and the guard came up and said, "What are you doing here now?" And
That's
I said, "Oops, sorry," and I flipped back myself out.
Okay. And what you took yourself out, where did you go? You went home, or what happened? Where did you go at that time?
I went home. I came home.
You came home. And was there a traveling experience after that?
I probably have, but I don't remember.
Okay. When is the last time that you've traveled?
Just the other night.
And where did you go then?
Ancient Egypt.
Egypt?
Egypt. I was standing in front of the wall with hieroglyphics, and I memorized one of the hieroglyphics so I know what to look for to research it. And I Googled it, and it referred to the Book of the Dead.
The Book of the Dead.
I don't know why I was there, or where I was there, or how, but I was standing in front of that wall.
How long did you stand there?
That's one of the longest ones I've had because I usually get scared and pull myself out. So I was probably there a good 5-6 minutes.
Now, Avery, with her telling us this, can you do the same with your machine with this HDR? It does?
Well, Roberta, are you able to do this at will, or does it happen haphazard?
It just happened.
Okay, so do me a favor tonight before you go to bed. Tell yourself 3 times that you want to return to the Egypt and the hieroglyphs. Tell yourself that tonight I'll go back to the Egypt and the hieroglyphs, and then just put a notepad by your bed, and when you wake up, draw what you see.
Okay.
And just, tell yourself 3 times before you go to bed, and then lay down and let's see if you can get back there.
Well, I gotta thank you both. Thank you both for being on tonight. We are out of time.
Well, and Roberta, give Glenn Larry your information, because you be on the show again.
We're gonna get her on again. I promise you. All right, is that okay with you? Is that okay with you, Roberta?
Sure.
All right. So I've got to say goodbye to you guys, both of you. Thank you kindly. Avery, out of Florida, I believe. And Roberta, you're out of where?
California.
California. All right, Palmdale. Okay. We'll be back. Again, thank you so very much. You guys be well. And we'll be seeing you guys really soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Just a reminder, we'll see you next Tuesday night. You guys play well, be well, and love each other, please. And if you think about traveling in time, really think about it.